Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. Today I'll show you how I made this earring and necklace set. Hi! Okay, so I'm going to start by showing you all my wonderful scrap clay that I have that I've been collecting, and I need to make oh so many videos of scrap clay, and they are coming, I assure you. But this is all my little scrappies, so I'm just going to pick out some pretty colors that I like together, and I'll just do that now. These are my colors, and I picked out some colors that were very similar. It was from a cane that was a disaster. I was trying to make a peacock feather cane, and it just did not come out very pretty. So I have all these wonderful scraps in beautiful colors, and I'll just start chopping them up into various sized pieces. And then once I have them all chopped up, I'll just give them a nice mixing and get them all nice and mixed together, no clumpies. And then just start using my hands to form it into a circle shape, which I will then begin to pat down and flatten. And then I will start rolling with my wonderful roller, get it all rolled out. Be sure to flip that over and roll, and you don't want to flatten a whole lot, you just want to get all the pieces stuck together. And this is my wonderful piece, all done, and it's about this thick. Next, I have an entire sheet of silver leaf, which I will place on the top of my clay and gently start pressing it into place so that it sticks to the clay. Just make sure you get the sides or the edges really well so that it does not rip off when you try to remove the excess silver leaf. And I just gently peel away the excess. And then remove it from my work surface and give it a nice gentle roll. Make sure everything is stuck in place and ready to go. This is the stencil I am going to use. It is a leaf stencil, and I went stencil crazy and bought a whole bunch on Amazon, and I will leave links for those in the description box below if you are interested. When placing it on there, it will not stick to the clay because of the silver leaf, so you will gently have to press it into place before rolling so that it gets some sort of bond with the silver leaf and starts to embed itself into the clay. Also, just a little side note, I do have a second channel that I have recently started. It is an ASMR channel, so if you are interested in ASMR, please check that out. I have a lot of fun making those videos, and I will of course still make my clay videos, so you can check that out if you want. Link is in the description box below. And once you have it rolled out pretty good, you should start to see all of the beautiful clay coming up and over the top of the stencil piece. That's how you know you're doing it right. And then you can just use the edge of your tissue blade and start removing all of that excess clay that has come up and around the stencil. And you will reveal all of the wonderful scrap clays underneath, and the silver leaf will be everywhere that the stencil is currently on your clay. And be sure to give it a nice gentle roll if you do want your stencil to have a more of a relief, and it will pop up through the stencil. If not, you can leave it flat and not roll it after you have taken away all the excess clay. And there you go. Wonderful and easy. You could stop here, but you want to make something pretty out of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this X-Acto knife and just start cutting out the shapes of the leaves. And I will need several of these, so I will just start cutting away, and I will just briefly show you kind of how I'm doing the outline around the clay. I won't show you all of them because that would be boring. But here's just a little preview. And now that I have cut out enough for a necklace and a pair of earrings, of course, I have laid out my earrings and my necklace, and I have it all sorted out how I want it to look, making sure I have enough beads for my beautiful necklace, and then a bead each for my earrings. And I will just go ahead and, since I have it laid out, cut off a little of this string that I will use to string my necklace. And you do want to cut away more than you think you're going to need, because it would stink to have a short necklace. You can always take away some of that excess that you've cut, but you can't put any back on. So make it longer than you need it to be. And I will just scoot everything aside so that I can work with my clay alone. And these will be for my earrings. And I've made this little stick pin with the loop on the end for hanging my earring. And I'll put the bead through there and then place it just at the top of my leaf. And that's really all you have to do for the earrings. And I'll place those on a sheet of paper and they will be ready for baking. And now I will just run a stick pin up and through the middle from one side to the other on each of my leaves. This can be a little bit tricky when placing in the stick pin. Try to put it in as close to the center as possible between the front and the back. And then place your fingers on either side so that you can feel where that stick pin is going up and through your clay so that you don't poke out the sides. You can kind of feel it poking up where it's going to hit your fingers. You'll know that you need to press it back the other way and vice versa, and just keep wiggling it all the way until you get to just about the end. And this is the kind of the tricky part, because you don't really know that it's going to come out directly in the center of the other side of the clay. So you just kind of mess with it a little bit and feel where it's coming out, and then you can pull back out and get it to stick where you need it to be. And then I do like to wiggle it around just a little bit in the middle, just so that it is not stuck in there, and I can make sure I have plenty of room to run the string up through my clay once I have baked my pieces. So just continue with all of your leaves. And just for a little added little bonus feature to the earrings, we're going to go ahead and make little dots all around the inside layer of the silver leaf. This is completely optional, but I think it adds a lot to it. And when I am done, I will put some paint on it, and it will give it a nice little pop. And now they are ready for baking. Once they are baked, I will go ahead and place in my jump rings and stem for my earrings and make sure they are nice and glued into place before resining my pieces. And before I resin my pieces, I do want to put a little bit of paint in all of those little holes that I made. I'm going to use orange because I thought it would look good against the colors that are in the clay, but feel free to use any color you want. Make sure you get it in those little nooks and crannies pretty well before wiping away all of the excess paint. I am using a damp rag to do so. And this will take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. And the one on the left here is the one that has the paint in the holes, and the one on the right does not. So you can see it does add a little something to the piece, a nice little added detail. But I will continue on with the rest of mine. And then of course I resined them, and they look beautiful once they are resined. I love that shine. So now I'm going to move on to my necklace. And for the one side, I'll begin by placing on my clamshell. And then I will place on my crimp bead and crimp that in place. And then close up that clamshell around the crimp bead. And this one has a little loop on the end, so I'll just need to close that loop up also. And that is where our clasp will hang on to with our jump ring. Now time to add on the jump ring. And then the clasp or the toggle on this end, either one will work. And then after you get that all nice and closed up, then you can just start stringing on your beads and keep going until you reach the other side. And while I'm doing that, I do want to welcome everybody to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I did enjoy making it, and I hope that you consider subscribing to my channel for more content. And then once you get to the other end, just make sure that the beads are nice and tight on there so that there are no gaps in between the beads and the clay. And then you can place on your clamshell and your crimp bead and get those in place just like you did the previous side. And then of course, just put your jump ring and your toggle or clasp on the other side to finish off your necklace. And this is my necklace once it is all complete and done, and I just love the way the resin looks on there when it's all shiny and smooth. And you can definitely see all the little holes that I made and put the paint inside. And then of course the back is just the beautiful scrap clay colors all mixed together. I just love it. It's beautiful. And of course the earrings. I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.